Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about our end of the year and how it's wrapping up, what worked, what didn't, and yeah, I'm just super excited to tell you guys how everything went this year. So if you want to hear more, just keep watching. So if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Renee. I am a homeschool mom. Right now I'm homeschooling my daughter who is 4, about to be 5. She's going to be going into her kindergarten year next school year. And yeah, so I've been homeschooling her. I homeschooled her for preschool and now pre-K. And I'm super excited to really get into the school part of it, even though she's kind of already done that. So anyways, yes, I'm a homeschool mom. I also have a 1.5-year-old son who I do plan on homeschooling, and I am a homemaker, and I love to do arts and crafts projects, homeschool things, and everyday life stuff. So if any of that interests you, please hit that subscribe button. This year has been crazy. So I feel like it has just been like 2 years in one. Like, it's just been crazy. So we started out the year using the Good and the Beautiful's pre-K course book. And I didn't look at how many lessons were in there, and I assumed it was a full year's worth of lessons. And so we did 2 lessons a day because I wanted to get into get primer K done as well. And she was flying through it. She wasn't struggling, so we did 2 lessons a day most days. And it worked really well. She retained it all. She was ready. A lot of it was review from her preschool year. And so that was pretty easy. Then we started her primer K from the Good and the Beautiful, and she also flew through that. We only did 1 lesson a day for that, but she was done halfway through our school year with all of her preschool work. So then I faced the dilemma of, do I move her on to level K, or do I maybe just get some supplements in there until we start our next year? Because I really like the idea of every year getting a whole new curriculum, and you know, it's just like Christmas for me, and I like starting fresh, and it's just like really fun. So I was like so torn, but then after talking with my husband about it, he was like, yeah, just move her on if she's ready. And I was like, you're right, like I shouldn't hold her back if, you know, just because selfishly I want my big Christmas, you know. So we decided she was ready. We took a little bit of a break. We did about 2 weeks of her just practicing reading and her handwriting and stuff like that, so we weren't doing a whole bunch of book work. So we took a little bit of a break, and then after I think we had like a school break. We do 6 weeks on, 1 week off, and it was either a holiday or a school break. I don't exactly remember. Like I said, everything kind of just feels and we started her on the Good and the Beautiful's level K language arts. So I just think it's so crazy, the things that she is doing and everything she is learning. She's a very, very good reader. She has read through the beginner A box, and we just finished Unit 1 last week. So on Monday she'll be doing her Unit 1 assessment, and then we'll be moving on to Unit 2. So it's just crazy how quickly she's going through all this stuff. And I like to have this wiggle room where she's like far enough ahead where I don't have to stress, which I wouldn't have to stress anyway, because this is the beauty of homeschool. But, you know, my brain, like, wanting to get things done on time, that's just my perfectionist brain, which I try to control. But I feel like we have this wiggle room where if she's having trouble with a concept, we can stop and work on it, and we don't have to feel like we have to rush through the curriculum. Which, like I said, we wouldn't have to anyway, but, you know, it takes, like, the pressure off me. And I never put it on her, but, you know, it's nice for me not to have the pressure. So yeah, we have wiggle room where if we have to stop, review some things, practice some reading and sight words and things like that, then we can do that. So far we haven't needed to, but I have a feeling it's going to start getting a little harder here in Unit 2. So maybe we'll do half a lesson a day, or maybe we'll review a lesson, you know, go back and review some things. I don't know. It depends on how she does. So that is my plan for the rest of this year, is just to keep going with Level K Language Arts and finish off the year. We have about 4 more weeks of school left. I wanted to make this video because I want to start making our next year's curriculum videos, what we'll be using next year. So I kind of wanted to wrap up this year. And so that I can get started on those, because it kind of wouldn't make sense to start talking about next year when I haven't really finished talking about this year. So, yeah, this year has been going great. She has been doing her handwriting. She went through the doodles and pre-writing for littles, and then she is about a quarter of the way through Level K handwriting. And, what else? So we were doing our unit studies. I was planning those. I would switch off between like a regular topic unit study and then a literature unit study, and I planned those out in advance, and then after our book work we would do a little bit of a unit study project. We stopped doing those because it just kind of got a lot for me, especially with my son. He just keeps me really busy. And then Everly stepped up her language arts stuff and started doing a little bit harder stuff, and we practicing reading a lot more, and her lessons took just a smidge longer, really not that much. We can usually get through all of school, which includes like calendar and morning time, Bible, all of that stuff. We can usually get through all of it in about 45 minutes to an hour and a half at most. So it's a little longer though. So I just like felt a little overwhelmed. I'm like, we're gonna step back from the unit studies. I loved doing them, but I actually have lots of ideas for next year that won't be quite doing what I was doing, but something we will be still doing, like unit studies-ish. I don't know. You'll see. I'll make a whole video on what I'm planning to do next year. Okay, so things that kind of didn't work as well as I wanted to, that we didn't finish or what have you. I think there was really only one thing, and at the beginning of the year I wanted to try to do mindfulness with her before we did like our book work and stuff, and just like to take a second, get centered, get calm, be in the right mood. You know, I'd play classical music. And then my son got old enough to crawl and walk and run and scream, and there was no relaxing mindfulness at that point. So it kind of just became way more stressful for everybody involved, because I would get frustrated. Everly would like get crawled on, and like we couldn't do the things that we needed to. So we stopped doing the mindfulness because it wasn't relaxing, which was the whole point. Yeah, I think when the kids are older, it would be really fun to do that. So now I'm kind of more focusing on getting them moving a little bit more. Sometimes now that it's getting nicer, we'll go out and play for about half an hour before school. Not all the time, because sometimes I'm just like, no, Mom's not doing that till in the afternoon, because that's usually our outside time. And then next year, we're probably still not going to do the mindfulness next year, but I do think I'm going to have something to get them more engaged. And then William will be a little bit older, where he'll be able to participate a little bit, but I know he's still not going to sit still at next year, so we're gonna have to wait on that one. So that was the only thing that really did not work. I did try to do reading time every day, and it was not during school time, but I still kind of counted as school-ish because she's practicing her skills, but it was like a whole separate thing. So in the afternoons, after lunch and quiet time and everything, even after outside time, we would all sit down and read for 10 minutes. So I told Everly, once she knew how to read and had the books that I knew she knew how to read, I told her she had to really read one book. The rest of the time she could look at whatever book she wanted, because I didn't want it to become a drain on her and something she didn't like to do. I just wanted her to practice what she was doing and that was it. So we would read for 10 minutes. Now, we probably only did reading time like a quarter of the year because, you know, it's just that season of life where it was hard. It was like, again, William is up and running around and I always have to get up and get him. He was always trying to take Everly's books, and it's getting a little easier. He still makes it a little difficult, but he also loves to look at books. So I'll get him his beanbag chair and like 3 board books, and he'll sit there for sometimes like 5 to 7 minutes, sometimes less. Like sometimes he won't read at all, but sometimes he'll sit there for a good chunk of the time. Never the whole time though. And then he's up running around and he's crawling in my lap trying to figure out what I'm reading, and then he wants Everly's book, and so it's getting better. It's getting better. So sometimes I'm just like, I have no patience for this today and we cannot do it. But I've tried really hard lately to be better at it, especially now that Everly is reading actual books now. And I like for my kids to see me reading, which they always see me reading anyway. Whenever we go outside to play, sometimes I'll take my book out there and read a chapter or 2 of my book while the kids are playing, and then I'll get up and I'll hang out with them and play with them. But outside time can be hard for me because I kind of hate just standing around watching them, and I'm not good at imaginary play, so I'll like push them on the swings or get them on the slide or something, or let's run, you know, but I just can't stand just standing there. So I usually have to have something to do to be outside. So I'll let them go run around and play while I read, and then I'll play with them a little bit, push them on the swings or whatever. I can't remember if at the beginning of the year I wanted to do a PE thing. I think I did. Ugh, I can't remember. That did not really work because it was, again, hard with a baby, and it was just, yeah, it just didn't work. But she goes to dance class, so she has that, and then she loves to be outside, so she goes out there and plays all the time. And so, but we didn't have like a structured PE thing, which at the beginning I kind of wanted. But I've relaxed a little bit on that. I think as long as we're getting outside and we're playing and we're not sitting in front of the TV, that's just my goal right now. So I think that's it. Let's see. We went through, if you guys, this is kind of like how we go through our day, in case you guys, this is the first video and you haven't seen like our schedule. But we start school around 9:30. We do our calendar, then we do Pledge of Allegiance, we do Bible, and then we do a read aloud, and then we do her course book, and then handwriting. And then when we were doing unit studies, we would do a unit study at the end, which lately we have not. But those were really fun, and she enjoyed them a lot. It just kind of became too much. But I'm so excited, you guys, to talk about next year. I have so many great ideas, and just feel like the fresh new year, and she's going to be in kindergarten. We're going to be doing a lot more outside activities, and I've already started to trickle in some of my items for next year. One thing I know I won't have until late August, possibly early September. So one thing I will talk to you guys about, but I won't be able to show you, and we won't be starting it at the beginning of August when we're starting our school year next year. So, be on the lookout for next year's list of videos. I have a whole list of, I'm going to do a curriculum haul. I'll probably do flip throughs of anything that you guys are interested in. I plan on doing a how I plan my year-round homeschool each year, and how I, you know, choose what days we're doing and when we take our breaks, everything like that. That video is coming. I want to do a video all about read alouds, and I have lots of ideas. So if you guys like that kind of stuff, if you're into homeschooling or need some good ideas, need some inspiration, please hit that subscribe button. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!